This is Channel 253 Sports.
In 2004, 30 years after the birth of the Seattle Sounders, a crack podcasting unit was sent to prison by a federal court for a crime they didn't commit. These men and women promptly, eventually, escaped from a minimum security luxury prison camp to the Tacoma underground. Today, still wanted by the Timbers Army for dropping trowel in front of Jeltwin. They survive as supporters of fortune. If you need a hot take, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the Flounders.
It's working now, kids. All right, so we are going to go live on Facebook. We should be live on YouTube, and we should be live on Periscope via Twitter. And ladies and gentlemen, I am Steve, and you are listening to the Flounders B-Team Podcast. We are here finally. Sorry for the delay. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. This is our first time doing it on multiple channels all at once. Yeah, and by we, I mean Steve. But that's okay. We are here now, and we are having a good time with you all. If you can tell me, if you can hear me somehow on the tweeters, that'd be great. Tim will be monitoring that. In the studio, of course, we have the lovely Andrew Hammond. How you doing, ladies and gentlemen?
What's up?
Well, I guess just gentleman.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, it's just you.
How you guys doing?
How are you doing?
I'm good.
My multiple personalities
I'm
are
great.
showing. Yeah, you feeling good?
Yeah.
You're looking good. How was your
Thank you.
weekend?
It was pretty good.
Except for the end of the match, but that's this whole
Here's the thing. My dad was in town for the weekend, so got to see Papa Hammond, and he's doing well. But yeah, we'll get to the end of the match. Actually,
That's okay.
I kind of sort of
And...
enjoyed the end of the match in terms of just for activity's sake.
Okay.
So yeah,
just for the tumult of it all. The kerfuffle, if you will. Okay.
It had been building for at least a good hour or so. So
okay.
Yeah.
It's always tense. Have you ever you were watching that one as a journalist, not as a fan, right?
Yeah, watching that as a journalist, working for the TNT, and then
and that's what you are. You're a sports writer for the Tacoma News Tribune.
Absolutely,
and other platforms.
Yes, and so just watching that game was like my weekend was good. I know other people probably had their weekend ruined.
Okay,
but aside from Sunday's sadness for some fans,
sure.
I had a good weekend. I
had a pretty good weekend, too. I'm trying to remember what the heck I did Saturday. Oh, we threw a surprise birthday party for Nate from Tacoma. That was a lot of fun on Friday.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Saturday, we basically recovered from that. And then I started getting this live stream stuff set up. So this was a lot of fun to do. Thank you to all the various tech companies that are able to help me out. I'm doing this basically for free, except for the equipment, using some home server software. Open source software is fantastic. It wasn't the software. It was trying to log into Facebook to get all this shit actually started, because automating that is difficult sometimes.
He forgot his password.
Yeah.
I did not forget my password. But ladies and gentlemen, also in studio today is the handsome, the ineffable. I know, right? You're growing everything out. You look great. Tim Hamilton, everybody. Muff top model.
Everything's growing out.
Yeah? It's amateur hour here on the Flounders B-Team Podcast, and bloody hell, that's how we like it, right?
Yeah, buddy.
So what are you doing there, Timbo?
I am purchasing Portland away tickets.
Oh, why would you do something like that?
Because there are still 9 seats available there's like 115 tickets total, but there's 9 on the bus, and you want to get on the bus because I'm going to be on the bus.
Yeah.
He's on the bus.
Gotta have
He's
that
on
bus.
The bus.
Oh, we like the bus.
We do. We like the bus. So, and what date is that?
Friday, August 23rd.
And you said there's 9 tickets available, so there'll be 6 left after we buy ours, right?
Correct.
And that's Saturday the...
Friday
the 23rd of... August. Okay, I didn't hear you say all that. Why are you looking at me like that, man? All right, so we're live on the internet.
Stop talking. Friday, August 23rd, we are playing Portland at Portland. And I think the bus is the way to go. I think there's at least 2 buses going. The plan is you meet at the park and ride, I think, in Tacoma off of 512, and then you hop on the bus, and there's a keg of beer waiting for you, and you can bring your own, but there's no pooping on the bus.
Is that a rule?
No, it's just a universal rule.
It's a universal rule. There's no pooping on the bus.
Yeah, well,
I think we stop at the park. I think there's not a park and ride. I think there's a rest stop south of Lacey, Ground Mound, something. It's halfway there, and
so I know on the
stop.
On the Doyle's bus, we used to have a tradition where if somebody was in the bathroom for more than 30 seconds, plus however long it takes to sanitize your hands, we would do a 10-second countdown and then start singing, shitter, 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 when we did the Doyle's bus to Vancouver or wherever, right? Because you don't poop on the bus.
You really don't.
You don't, because everybody's got it. I mean, it's just it's not like the airplane where it goes whoosh, and then freezes to a little blue ball and lands in somebody's cornfield.
Even then, I won't do that. Like, I have a paranoia about just like, no, I can't. Like, I got to make sure that I'm good to go.
What's the longest airplane flight you've actually taken?
Oh God, I mean, it's nothing compared to you guys, because I mean, you had like what, a 17-hour flight.
Well, it was in legs. So like one was 3 hours, one was 8.5 hours, and the other one was like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I think like the longest one for me was like 7-hour flight.
Right on.
It was a cross country flight, but it wasn't fun.
I did manage not to poop on the airplane.
Proud of you.
It's uncomfortable.
Proud of you.
Like the toilet paper isn't.
Why are we talking about this and not talking about soccer?
I don't know.
I get why we talked about it, but
he brought it up.
Yeah.
It's
no
his
pooping
fault.
on the bus.
No pooping on the bus is the moral of the story. This is quality content.
Do not let your deuce
channel
loose.
253. Ladies and gentlemen. So we are here, and we are representing Channel 253, channel253.com. There are other great podcasts on this show, on this network, rather, such as the Nerd Farmer podcast, the Interchangeable White Lady podcast, Crossing Division. Let's see what else. Citizen Tacoma, hosted by Candace Rude. We Art Tacoma by Eric Hanberg, talking about all of the great art scene in Tacoma. And we're also sponsored by Tacoma Arts Live, which is a great platform and a great location, a great place to do all kinds of fantastic activities, everything from full-on productions to free demonstrations like the one coming up in September with Tommy Orange, who just wrote a great book, fantastic novel called They're There, exploring Native American culture within the city of Oakland. So that's going to be a fantastic book, I hope. I finished the first part, 2 more parts to go, and it just feels really good. So if you can check out Tacoma Arts Live, you are going to be in great shape, because you're going to be doing great stuff for you and your family and just your cultural well-being right here in the city of Tacoma. Yes, there you go. I did my ad read.
It was good.
All by myself. No
good
script.
Stuff.
I feel like it went pretty well.
It did. You knocked it out of the park, sir.
Great, man. And Tim hates it when I read stuff live on the show because I can cut it in, but I really respect that you didn't blamp me at all.
I was too busy purchasing ECS away tickets.
You can become a member of ECS, who's not a sponsor of the show. I don't even know if most of the folks will find out. But
they'd appreciate it.
No, we're about to buy 3 of the last 9 tickets.
They were responsible for that marvelous TIFO.
Oh, that was.
Oh my God, that was so good.
Did that cover you where you were sitting?
It did cover me. Yeah, and I'm like yelling at people, "Stop hitting the TIFO!
What's with all the flags? I can't see."
So I love me a nice TIFO battle. No offense to Portland, but that TIFO kind of sucked.
Their TIFO is always
they have one up in the stands?
whack and
yeah,
derivative.
it wasn't
Didn't
great.
Make TV.
It shouldn't have made TV. It kind of, sort of, like.
What was it? Was it one that they recycled?
It was like we're here, or was it Timbers are here? It was like, okay, great, but no, what was it last year for the playoff?
We can smell the patchouli.
Well, for the playoff last year, it was like, where's the car show? I thought that was funny. because they have the car show going on,
Yeah.
and but yeah, no, it was like Timbers are here, and it was
But
like
it's all about everything that they do, and their tifo has been kind of terrible for a long time.
feel like their home-
I
rivalry
love
tifo.
them. I love every single one of them.
Do you really?
I love
Their home
photoshopping
tifos.
crap.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Ah.
Because they're just ripe for mocking.
the home tifos are fine,
Uh-huh.
but I'm sorry, I expected more out of Portland's tifo, and it kind of sort of sucked. Like,
like-
it was underwhelming.
It's
Yeah,
an inside joke
generally is.
that nobody gets.
Right.
But they think it's awesome.
It was like, Timbers are here. Okay.
I know.
Congratulations. We saw you walk in.
That's
So if
why
you
all the pumps are
compare-
missing their nozzles.
That's right.
They drove away with them.
If you compare just kind of overall Sounders tifo, or ECS tifo, and Timbers Army tifo, I think the big difference is that we talk about very much about kind of the glory of the club, the honor of the club, the history of the club, the tradition of the club, the legacy of the club, all the cups we've won, and just kind of it builds pride and makes something swell up inside you. Like I said on the show, Timbers show last time, Timbers tifo just makes you want to float too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all very derivative, pop culture driven. Like there's always some sort of like a Freddy Krueger or an It clown, or you had a couple other examples that you remember that you've ripped off of.
Well, I mean, one of my favorite tifos that we did was I think Timber Joey was swimming in the water, and a giant orca was coming up, basically like the cover of Jaws. If you were to pick up a VHS, this was a videotape at home.
That's back in the 40s, kids.
It's got the shark coming up and the female swimmer, but this was Timber Joey swimming, and the shark was an orca, and it said "pity." It was pretty. It's very nice.
Good
Right
stuff.
on.
So
So we did have our rivalry match, the Derby, if you will, last Sunday, and we'd love to talk with you all about that.
Yeah. It's gonna be a little painful, but we can make it through, kids.
Can we?
Yes, we can.
what day is today? Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So
All
I mean,
day.
it's still fresh in my mind. So continue.
Please.
Portland comes to town. Do you want to? What do you want? Do you want to go? I mean, basically, they've beaten us how many times in a row before leading up to today?
5 out of the last 6 times. Portland, and this is including U.S. Open Cup matches, and really, in some ways, Portland is returning to the scene of the crime. The crime is ending the Sounders season in maybe the most gut-wrenching,
Way
knife-twisting
possible.
fashion that if you do it to your rival, you can live that up forever. But yeah, so the Timbers came back, and one guy who did a hell of a job in the U.S. Open Cup match down here at Cheney Stadium was Brian Fernandez. And it's kind of sort of like we didn't watch any film on what Brian Fernandez can do.
It's capable of.
He got 2 goals, but
Yeah. He had to earn some of those, but keep going, Tim. Keep going.
No, I mean, I'd like to go over the starting lineup.
Oh, sure,
and all that stuff first.
Sure, yeah.
But I mean, as far as history, we hate them. They hate us, and
It's beautiful.
They love winning up here, apparently. You can't say every time they talk about the broadcast was like, oh, they won, they even beat them in the Open Cup, Like, I wanted to use a word there. Forget that mess. I mean, they had their entire complement of players, all their DPs.
That is true.
We had Jonathan Campbell. We had, I think the highest salary player was Victor Rodriguez, and that was probably the last time he saw the field in 3 months. But yeah, I mean, it was just not. We had Dellum, we had the kids. Like, come on now, and we almost got that game
Yeah.
too. We missed a penalty at the end that would have helped, but
Missed a penalty,
in the
and
first half maybe. Was it second half?
second half.
Oh yeah, that was probably
Second half.
80 minutes left.
Missed a penalty in the second half, really that first goal was kind of on the back line.
Usually is, yeah. Campbell let him cut back inside.
Yeah.
And he finished.
So
He was walking.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those where, you know, if you correct some mistakes, you probably win the game. And so it hurts a little bit going into the game. But Tim, lineup.
Oh, we're drinking Sparkle Donkey margaritas, the Flounders B team margarita of choice. Are we recording now?
We are.
We're
That's okay.
recording all
We're
the time?
recording on we're recording on 3 platforms. We'll be able to get the audio. It'll
Turn
be
on
okay.
the red light.
Anyway, continue.
All right.
If I'm doing stuff over here, don't worry about it.
It's just when you sigh and you breathe out your nose. When you sigh out your nose, it's like, oh god. That's either I'm very disappointed in you, Tim, or
Oh, you're the one disappointed in me. It's okay. The
Sparkle Donkey margaritas. One part
parents are fighting.
1 part Sparkle Donkey Reposado, 1 part lime juice, 1 part Grand Marnier, and finish with squirt to taste.
It is a very delicious beverage. If
Must
you're gonna
use your
if you're gonna
championship
do
glass.
thank you for that.
Your wife took.
This is the glass that they serve the near beer in.
It does kind of taste like French beer.
It's like, well, it's 0%. It's just
Cinnamon.
0% alcohol
Yeah, right.
beer.
The Heineken Zero.
No, it's not. It wasn't even that. It's like I don't remember what it was.
Just ground up
They
Wheaties.
just said this is beer. There's no brand to it. We're just gonna give it to you in this Coca-Cola cup.
Here you go.
Yeah.
So, all right, starting lineup.
Yes, please.
Fry and goal. Backline, Brad Smith, Kim Keehee, Roman Torres, Kelvin Leardom. Defensive midfielders, Christian Roldan, the right Roldan, and Gustav Svensson. And our attacking mids, Geraldinho Ship, Nico Ladero, Jordan Morris, and up top, Wreck-It Raul Rui Diaz. Do we want to go over Portland?
Yeah.
Those guys.
Yeah, we definitely want their lineup.
Suckett Clark in goal. Jorge Villafaña, Cascante, Mabiala, and Moreira, right back. They're also doing a 4-2-3-1. They've got Pesades. I don't know, his name's blurred out. And Diego Chara as their defending midfielders, and then attacking midfielders, Ebobise, Diego Valeri, and Sebastian Blanco, and up top,
Isn't it a
Brian Fernandez.
Ibobisa?
Yeah.
Imbobise?
Yeah.
Imbobise?
Ibobisa.
Ebobasa, yeah. And then
Ibobisa.
Imbobise?
and then Public Enemy number 1,
Yes.
Brian Fernandez.
Brian
Fernandez.
Fernandez. I mean, you
Spitty.
can't be
No
mad at you just can't
spitty.
be angry with him.
I'm not angry
I'm
with
angry
him.
with his face.
I mean,
I want to punch them all. That's why I want to go to Portland.
it's
it's
just
so-
watching good people do good things is good unless it's
Portland.
Portland. and you hate to see it. You just hate to see it.
This was an entertaining match.
It was. It
started.
was.
Started, oh, God, just 10 seconds in. We pick off a pass, push it right to the Rui Diaz. Rui Diaz takes a really bad first touch and an even worse second touch. And now he's going wide of the goal and then loses the ball. Like, the keeper comes out and it doesn't work out for him.
So, question. After he scores that goal, in my head, or after he attempted that shot on goal, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, if they keep the pressure on for, maybe the next 5, 10, maybe even 15 minutes, they're going to pick up a goal eventually. Like, you just kind of got that vibe that, okay, they're going to put pressure, they're going to apply pressure early, and then you're going to see a goal out of it eventually. I don't know. I had that vibe. I'm not sure what you guys, because Steve, you were there. Tim, you were watching it on TV. So I don't know if you guys kind of felt that way too. Or...
Only in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's yeah.
It looked like one-way traffic. It looked like we were going berserker on them, and
Yeah.
they didn't know what to do,
Right.
and it didn't work out.
Well, and to be fair, Portland played, I believe, they played their entire starting lineup. Was it Thursday against Orlando? And minimum subs, if I remember correctly, because I got in around the 70-minute mark watching that thing, but they had to work for a draw. They had to work for a point. Maybe work more than they should have for that point against Orlando. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, you apply pressure early, you get them tired even more, and then you're fine. But then all of a sudden, it seems like at the 30-minute mark when Leardom gets turned over, kind of, I'd say maybe in that last third, and then Portland goes the other way, already with a 1-0 lead, that's when the offense just decided to go, bye, see ya,
Bye, Felicia.
basically.
So the referee, Drew Fisher.
Yeah.
I called. We talked. I mean, we called it before the game. We are the soccer Nostradamuses, Nostradami,
Close enough.
What's the plural of Nostradamus?
Nostromachus.
Nostradamus. So everything we talked about in our last show happened. We saw Kramer goals. We saw depth issues. We saw. I mean, you name it, and it happened. But Drew Fisher, as soon as I saw he was reffing, I was like, oh God, this guy isn't going to call anything. And he didn't. I mean, there were plenty of times he could have he didn't start taking out yellows until like maybe the last 15, 20 minutes of regulation. But I mean, yeah, we saw that coming. We also talked about like, what else did we talk about? I mean, Kramer goals. You were there. What else?
What, last show?
Yeah.
Are we recapping last show for some reason?
No, well, I'm just all the things that translated.
Yeah.
We were talking about the turf. And that
Definitely
kinda,
the turf. I think that
kinda hit us
applied
again.
today. Yep.
But, all right.
Tensions kind of getting, but that's just in a rivalry game in general. But no, you could tell that, and really in the second half, and that around the 70-minute mark when Seattle was trying to get something going and Portland was starting to kind of stall a little bit.
Yeah.
Like you could kind of tell, okay, it's getting under their skin, and
So Nate talked about just the inability. I'm sorry, it was actually Kevin Zmyra on Twitter was talking about just the inability for us to utilize our wide channels, starting and our inability to just effectively use the midfield at all. Starting with Harry Shipp. Starting with Lodero kind of in the mid and then trying to transition to the left-hand side. Jordan Morris trying to be a target forward or a false nine or whatever the heck he was playing yesterday or on Sunday. I don't understand why. I don't understand how, and maybe somebody can help me understand how Portland was able to just kind of congest and why we continued to pass into those congested areas
around the midfield.
Our players were there, right?
Yeah, well,
especially like towards like the top right of the field, right?
Well,
it seemed like there was just. That's where we were trying to make plays, and that's where Portland always was.
Well, Portland was already there, was always there, and one thing that I thought was kind of interesting, and I didn't ask Schmetz after the game, but the health of Jordan Morris, because remember he kind of took that nasty fall around maybe the 25, 30-minute mark, and they didn't pass the ball to him kind of after that, and he was struggling, and that's one thing that I was thinking. I was like, do they not want to just even try?
Did we have Buana available?
No, we had zero offensive.
No,
it was all defense.
That's why we were
it was all defense and all mids, but it was because you could tell. Okay, they're gonna take it to midfield. Shipp or Lodero is gonna get trapped, and then we're just gonna be sitting around, just watching them in a corner. It's kind of like, with a full court press, where you take it at half court, and then there's two guys in front of you. You don't know what to do with the ball, so you either pass it back or you turn it over, and that's basically both times where we just had to retreat, or they had to retreat, and you pretty much have to reset your offense. If you get it over to Morris, stretch the field.
It feels like we had a lot of turnovers in that kind of transition, right?
Yeah.
Where we're trying to build something from the back, and like 2 or 3 touches after, it's just falling apart.
Yeah,
that's what we do. We're playing a counterattacking team, and we take too long to build from the back. and it's slow and methodical. And if we do get off to a decent break, there's nobody up top to receive the ball. We have Rui Diaz, and that's it. So if we can't find a way to get him a pinpoint perfect ball, it's over. Somebody else gobbles it up. Now, Jordan Morris, we're not utilizing him well enough. Like he's big, and he can turn on you.
Yeah.
If he's got his back to goal,
Right.
but he is not the player that's going to go down the line and beat you on a dribble.
Oh, not at all.
He needs a runway. He is fast as all hell, but he's huge and muscular, and he needs a long runway to get up to speed. So he's not that short step, quick, beat you on a dribble, 1-2, 1-2. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem. We had somebody on him instead of playing it in front of him.
Right. Well, and the one thing I was going to say as well is Brad Smith did a great job of bringing the ball up the field early on.
Yeah.
But after a while, when when the same play is happening and you're getting tired, and at the same time you got to cover one of the fastest and one of the more efficient forwarding offenses in MLS, you're gonna get tired.
Yeah, and we're gonna see that next week too.
Yeah.
So always, I don't know if this one forward thing is working out. I mean, because we're getting the ball up so fast, there's nobody to give it to.
Right.
Or he's double teamed.
Well, Rui Diaz is quick enough, and he's lurking where he's supposed to be. I think the problem is the crossing is just not working out.
Well, yeah, the service is not getting to. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
I can't say that because we had
two different.
What?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We had a ton of chances inside the box.
True.
But I think we did enough to win the game. We just
absolutely.
didn't convert. I mean,
Yeah.
Rui Diaz missed a just a sitter, like a epic sitter, and I was thinking about a Hall & Oates song that I sang off camera.
Well, and then you have after you score the goal, Portland comes right down and then just completely just takes all the energy away.
Well, I mean, the first goal that we give up was a turnover by Leardom, I think, and then a ginormous 70-yard switch. Mm-hmm. And I see Brad Smith 20, 30 yards from the dude, and then he closes it down, and then it gets posterized. The player cuts it back, unleashes a shot, and Fry jumps to make the save. I don't know if he got any of it, but it went off the crossbar, and his momentum's taking him outside of the goal mouth. And then, God damn it, it wouldn't have been too bad because the biggest player on the field is standing between the shooter and the goal.
Right.
But what does he do? He jumps, he kicks a leg out, and so you go from basically occupying 6 feet by 2 feet wide of the goal right in front of the player to 6 inches maybe, because you're jumping and sticking a foot out. And this, if you're looking at home, this is about as wide as maybe his calves, and that's all he was covering of the goal, if that. So
some big calves.
He screwed up, and he made it worse. Now, had he just stood there and kept his arms down, who knows? Maybe if he did stand there, maybe it would have accidentally gone off his hand and been a penalty. But at least it would not go in.
Right.
So at what point was and if I'm jumping too far ahead, let me know. But at what point was that controversial keeper handling?
Which one?
No call.
That was the first half. Stephen Clark, I think it's his name, Stephen Clark.
Yeah, Steve Clark.
He is good for at least one or two tourisms during a game.
Tourisms?
Tourisms.
Okay.
Tourism. It's an industry.
Or
Tourism.
Spurning.
He's good. He's good for at least one or two brain farts. And well, I mean, granted, it wasn't necessarily a brain fart, but the ball was rolling, it was coming through, and he ran out to save it, but he got it in his hands, and the momentum was taking him outside the box. So he basically shoved it out of the box, out of bounds. Now, was the ball inside the box? Was the ball outside the box? I mean, nobody went to VAR because Fisher doesn't effing know how to use VAR. He loves to do this.
I will defend Fisher on this. I think he was still inside the box and the ball popped out, or he didn't have or they say that he didn't have control of it
It's you
But
can
you
stand
can't
you can stand outside the box.
Touch it with your hand.
as long as the ball is in the box. I can stand in the goal mouth and have my hands outside the box, outside the goal. I can stand outside the goal box see this is the line. As long as the ball's in the box, I can handle it. But whatever. I don't know if that happened or not. Whatever. That wasn't the deciding moment of the game.
No, not at all.
Certainly not.
So
Well, it
that
could have
happened
been.
later.
It could have been if he'd been red carded.
I don't think that would have been. I would have been a yellow card if anything. But in a free kick outside the save. Now, intentionally handballing it, like way back in the playoffs.
How do you define intentional? Because it certainly
if you're outside the box and there's a shot and you kind of like Casey Keller did, he jumped out to make a save outside the box using his hands.
And Michael Sperning did,
and in the playoffs,
doing
he did that
couple extra
too,
steps and then kicking.
But like when you're in the box and that's not going to get called. That's not. I mean, it's not going to get you a red. You're not denying a goal scoring opportunity for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, he might have gotten a yellow. It's a foul, but I mean that's. I don't know. Kevin's Meyer, to the letter of the law.
Wasn't denying a goal scoring opportunity either when he was serving the ball and he got
No. Maybe we're talking about different things.
There was a red card.
I was talking about during the playoff. There was a playoff match that the Sounders were playing in, and he handled the ball outside the box, like deliberately handled the ball. Like he knew he was out of the box, but then kind of hit it with his hands anyway. Same with Keller. If you're inside the, come on, man, just go with it.
I'm going to go with it, but we're going to revisit this later. Go for it.
It's not a red. You're in the box and you slide to make a dive. You dive to make a save, and you're holding onto it. But the turf is wet and you're sliding out, so then you get rid of it. So if it was a foul, it was a foul, but it wasn't worthy of a red.
No, not at all.
No, and it wasn't dangerous or anything like that.
No, it was just kind of like what are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, if anything, it would have been just like an inadvertent handball, but
right. So, I mean, once again, not the biggest moment.
No, that's
not a deciding moment. So,
all right. Well, what was the deciding moment?
Oh, well, which time?
There were a few.
Fry made a really good save in maybe the 18th minute, I think.
Yeah.
So he kept it at 1. No, was that before? It was before we gave up the first goal. It was 18 minutes in. And then we gave up the goal shortly thereafter, maybe 3 minutes later. I said, Brad Smith gets posterized, shot off crossbar, rebound to Fernandez, and Torres up to dumb poopery. I'm trying to swear this.
Torres dumb shittery?
I'm trying
you can say dumb shittery. It's okay.
I'm trying not to say this.
Okay. All right. Well, that's you, and that's
then
fine.
After that, Wreck-It Raul had an opportunity and just a golden, I don't know how he missed it, but the Hall & Oates song, Because Your Miss is on my list. Because your miss is on my list of the worst things in life.
Sing it.
Because your miss is on my list. Because your miss, I can't resist. Because your miss is on my list. When I turn out the lights, and I'm done. So, what else we got? We went into halftime. Ladera wasn't the passing. I was tired of the passing. The passing was getting caught in the turf, and we were trying to thread needles, and it wasn't happening.
My favorite thing in all of that was I've never seen. I tweeted it. I was like, I've never seen a soccer team take a knee to go to halftime.
Oh my god!
Like the agony of Sounders fans. It was like
brutal.
It was like, hey. Advance
the effing ball.
No. The best part is that it got to around maybe like the 2, maybe even 1 minute mark before an official would even think about blowing a whistle. And it's like, okay, you're advancing the ball, and like I could just get the vibe from Sounders from insert Sounders fan. It was like, all right, we're past midfield. Okay, are we gonna? Are we just kicking it around?
And we were. You might as well have given Roman Torres a couch out there. He was taking a nap.
The best part about it was I was like when Torres got the ball back, and this is like right when fans are figuring out, they're just pretty much just taking a knee and going to halftime.
Yeah.
Like I heard somebody outside, kick the effing ball to the net. Yes. Like somebody.
The only thing more aggravating than a referee blowing the whistle when we're about to take a corner,
right,
is that crap. When you have like 10 touches on the ball, after stoppage time should have run out. And he's like, even ref, even Drew Fisher, which I don't really care for now. He's next on my list. He's like,
I think Drew Fisher's like, okay, are they going to put a shot on goal? Is there going to be some action? And then it was like, okay, screw it. I'm just going to blow the whistle. Go to halftime. I mean,
we're daring him to do it.
The audible boo from that. I was like, it felt like a team.
It should have been.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And I was like, should they be getting booed? And I was like, yeah, that was not good.
Let it burn. So we go. I mean, like I said, Ladero's passing seemed to leave a lot to be desired. These long through balls on the ground were just getting eaten up by the new turf. The new turf was tall and slow, and we weren't able to play the ball on the ground like we normally do.
And we've talked about this a few times. I talked about it even before the show. That turf is going to take time
to settle.
Yeah, and where you're really going to see some aggravation and some unhappy campers is NFL preseason. That's going to be fun. And I say fun in the most sarcastic way.
I see probably a lot of football players losing their footing and falling down.
Losing their footing, falling down, feeling like they're being slowed down. Like it's going to be so annoying.
I don't care.
You know, I really don't.
NFL's an entire year away, man.
Yeah, no, I don't care either, but I'm just like, guys, like, if soccer players can play on this and there's not minimal complaints and there haven't been audible complaints, you guys will be okay. Yeah. But I just know that the complaints are coming. It's just like, guys.
Well, yeah, you can't complain about it if you were screaming. Like, our players can't complain about it because they've been screaming for a new field for years.
Right. And and to their credit, they haven't been complaining about it, and even some opponents have not complained. Like, they understand. Oh, like, yeah, I think Atlanta was talking about, new turf needs to settle. Like, it's like, we get it. Like, oh, yay. But but second half, things got fun.
30 seconds in, we gave the ball away and almost covered.
Yep.
Well, but then after that, we get a Raul.
Yeah, I had gone down at the half to talk to Nate over on the other side of the supporters section, and told him it's going to be all right because Ruidíaz is still looking pretty hot, and we're going to get 2 in, both by Ruidíaz, 1 crossed in by Harry Shipp and 1 crossed in by Jordan Morris, and we're going to be great. And I was pretty close on the first one. First one.
No.
Not even remotely. No. But there was... Okay, why don't you describe the play?
No.
All right.
All right.
Since I was so far off.
You were so far off. What ended up happening?
I guessed, okay? I thought it was going to be good.
That was optimistic, and that would have made sense. But Empty the Clip Ship was...
Yeah. No, Harry was bad.
Shooting blanks.
Harry was bad.
But to be honest, as much as I would love to have Rodriguez healthy for that match, Drew Fisher wasn't going to do S to protect him. He would have gotten the crap kicked out of him. He would have fallen down because he's really light and fluffy.
Well, and to be honest, Harry, you could tell, like, he didn't play in the Dortmund game, but you could tell that, going as hard as he did against Atlanta, and yes, I know that there's time to recuperate, but when you're going 100 miles per hour like he did in that game, and then you're still doing that in the second game, that's going to wear on you. Yeah. And it's not like you're playing, you're not playing some schlep, team from the East, so you're having to work for a lot more than you were against Atlanta. And no, you could definitely tell Harry was tired, and yes, Empty the Clip Ship definitely shot blanks.
So pausing on this game for a moment, is there anything redeeming about Borussia Dortmund friendly in the middle of the week in a somewhat congested schedule right after international break?
There's a lot of yellow shirts.
A lot of yellow shirts,
but I mean, here's and this might be a minority. And actually, I don't even think I'm a minority in the minority. I think I speak on behalf of everybody. None of this. I get it. I totally get it. Like it's great to bring a big international club, but no, not in the middle of a season, not in the middle of a stretch where you have Atlanta and then Portland. It's great for fans. If you went to all three, God bless you. But for a team that is trying to compete in the upper half of MLS, you really didn't need this.
We needed 3 points. LA lost.
Yeah.
LAFC lost because Zlatan did Zlatan things.
Yeah.
But
And
we
we could have
needed to close that gap.
We could have
We needed to stay in
closed it from 8 to 5, right?
8-5, and you pass LA, and you're all alone in sixth place,
But
or in second place.
But now we lose points, and we're in third place.
Still, you're still in third.
It's okay,
but
it's not what we want.
And
And we don't want to. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I made this point in my column, which you can read in the News Tribune.
Tacoma News Tribune, thenewstribune.com.
But basically, I talked about how, yes, losing this game and the way they lost it, and we'll talk about the shenanigans in the second half. Yes, all of that sucks. But at the same time, your season still goes on. You see this team again.
And the beat goes on.
Dum-dum-dum. But it still stings, but at the same time, the West is it's still going to be a dogfight whether you win or you lose. But it's just the stench and the feeling of losing and how you lost that makes this feel like, damn.
And that has to feel similar for LAFC as well. I mean, we talked last week about kind of the weakness of the LAFC schedule going in, but I mean, this could be a traumatic experience for them. I mean, Zlatan is going to Zlatan.
Yeah, great comparison because I mean I don't know, LAFC has never beaten the Galaxy, and I don't know if Zlatan is getting into their head like Blanco does us or like
Zach Scott.
Spitty gets in our head. No Spitty. That's Fernandez, by the way. For those at home and Steve here, Fernandez was basically getting in trouble for spitting on fans.
No, I understood.
Okay. For those at home and Steve here.
I don't often follow the non-soccer aspects of the game. Heck, I don't often follow the soccer aspects of the game.
See, I wasn't going to say anything.
How many times have you hit the
Okay.
power button and like, sorry guys, I haven't watched the game yet.
Okay, so I'm looking at, and just because you mentioned, the upcoming road for LAFC, they host Atlanta on the 26th. Huge game, especially for Atlanta because Atlanta needs that more than LA.
Yeah, LA's
But then, you go face Bruce Arena and the Revolution. That's a win. But then you got the Red Bulls, Real Salt Lake, and the Quakes. Then the rematch with the Galaxy. So that's August. August is going to be a telling month for that team.
Yep.
If we get 9 out of 12 points, maybe we can catch them.
Yeah.
And so how does that compare to our schedule going down? Do you think it's
We got what?
a similar you think it's a similar
Houston-
strength schedule, or is
Houston
does LA
away,
have the
Kansas
advantage?
City at home.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. So you got Houston,
Yeah.
then it's Kansas City at home, Revolution at home. So August is still kind of a challenge for the Sounders as well because you've got you get the win against Bruce Arena because screw Bruce Arena. Then you got Real Salt Lake on the road. Then you got to go to the Galaxy on the road. Then you got the Timbers to wrap up August. So
Friday the
three
23rd.
Be there or
three
be
straight
square.
road games.
Get your tickets.
3 straight road games from the 14th to the 23rd. That could be pretty telling.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Well, KC's firmly in the bottom of the table.
Yeah, that's-
with 21 matches played and sitting just at 5 points above Colorado with 25 points. Sporting KC is always a difficult match. I forget off the top of my head how we did at our last matchup.
Lost 2-0.
We always have a hard time against the Cauldron there.
Yeah.
It's a hard stadium to play in. It really is.
It's a hard stadium, and when you like Johnny Russell had his magic moment, I don't think that's going to happen now.
No, I think getting beat by Portland
it's
is going to light a fire. I just hope that fire doesn't burn. I hope that fire burns bright even through Portland away. Yeah. We don't normally do well in Houston. Nobody wins in Houston. It's hot, and
that
we just
field
haven't
is
really
crap.
done well.
And we can still win the Cascadia Cup by beating Portland away, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, you didn't lose the Cascadia Cup. Like, you didn't lose anything.
We could have locked it. But we didn't. And that's just another impetus to fight a little bit harder.
You go to their barn and you win it.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to talk about?
Did we talk about the
Ruidas's goal?
And then the answer?
That goal came from a big-ass floating ball from the biggest winger in the league. From like behind our own 50, he just launched Torres. Launched a ball up, and I don't know which defender.
Torres isn't a winger, but he was playing in the...
No, he was... It's a callback from an earlier show.
Eddie
We've got
Johnson?
the biggest winger in the league.
You got the... Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway.
Eddie Johnson wasn't a winger either. It was... were we referring to DeAndre Yedlin?
No.
Because he was so tiny?
No. Jesus. Goddamn Christ, Steve. You're worse than I am.
I am.
So, Eddie Johnson, we have the biggest Johnson in the league.
Yeah. And then
I said...
Who was the winger?
Roman Torres.
But he's not a winger.
Yeah. No feces. But he's big. He crosses the ball in for a goal, for an assist, and winger is really close.
To center defensive mid? Or center... fullback? Sorry, fullback?
To eggplant emoji. Because that's too... We have the biggest eggplant emoji in the league. That doesn't sound like... It doesn't flow like winger. So, Torres floated a ball up. Torres floated a ball up, and I want to say a Portland defender got a head on it, but it didn't go anywhere. It just kept going into the box. Ruidíaz grabbed it, got around the keeper. The keeper stuck a big paw out, probably tried to trip him, but he didn't go down, and then he finished with his left foot. So, and before... God damn, if it wasn't before James Woolard, friend of the show, does the call and repeat, like after the very last row, we get countered and scored on. Like,
I'm still jumping and hugging my wife.
Exactly. And like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah.
Why? Because it's a Kramer goal. Because we had a brain fart. Because the biggest winger in the league
Lack of concentration.
didn't follow his man. The first one, like, all right, you tried, but no, this is all on him. He cuts in front of it. Oh, man.
He cuts in front of him and
gets on a cross and just puts it in. I mean, that was a slow roller. Fry made the save, but it just kind of kept rolling. I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Abobase had a really good double banger that almost went in. I mean, he could easily had 3 goals on the day.
Yeah, they... As much as we talk about the mistakes that Seattle made, Portland
capitalized.
Oh, God, yes. But the thing is, they're a team of capitalizing vultures, and this is what they do.
They counter. And we're slow to build it up, and it sucks. We have some of the fastest guys in the league. We've got Brad, we've got Jordan, and we've got Jones, but instead we play it to feet instead of just dump it in the corner, letting that guy run his ass off and go get it. And meanwhile, everyone else runs to the far post, and someone, one near, one far, and then we get a goal. But we don't do that.
So Stefan Fry was not thrilled with everybody's performance on the day. But let's go to the kind of the fracas and the chippiness towards the end of the match.
Well, okay, Brian Fernandez gets dispossessed by Kim Keehee.
Yeah.
And then as Kim Keehee is coming towards the sideline, just gets cleaned out with a scissor tackle. And I don't know, did he get a yellow card for that?
No.
Did he even get any card
I
for
thought
that?
he got a foul. Yeah, no, they called a foul. They called a yellow. They called a yellow, but it was Yeah. Well, but then you had the Torres elbow. Torres getting elbowed just inside the box.
It doesn't matter if it's inside the box or not, but he got elbowed
Yes.
for a league that focuses on red
little
card,
shit. Yeah.
anything. Oh, you touched it. You took the cap
that
off
was
his chapstick.
I definitely saw the elbow.
Well, I saw the elbow from the press box, and here's the thing. I'm used to like college football or NFL press boxes where when you see something, you're like, oh, that's this, and I was like, oh, that's an elbow, and people are looking around like, what do you mean it's an elbow? And then we look at the replay, and then you clearly see an elbow in the freaking
and
box.
that was Torres,
Torres
right?
is 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
Torres,
You have
and
to
Torres
climb
is
up
passing
to do
the-
that.
And so you see it,
He had
It's not
and
an
hard.
accident. It's not an accident.
Oh no, not at all, not at all. And so, they're standing there and they're looking to see if it's going to go to VAR. And I'm like, okay, so if this goes to VAR, clearly, like I could see it from my angle, which is a pretty deep angle, but at the same time, like if you put that on the freaking video board,
Yep.
in CenturyLink.
Fans will riot.
Oh my god! And I understand why teams don't do that, but at the same time, it was a blatant elbow, and I get you don't want to try and sway the referee or anything, but everybody could see it. Yeah. That's the thing.
That Weasley mother.
So and he doesn't call it. So I was asking Schmetz after the game, did they give you an explanation? Was it hey, it was inadvertent, this is why we didn't call it? I mean, it's a crap response and it's a crap answer, but I'd be like, oh, at least you said something about it. They didn't tell him anything.
I like what they do in college football when the
Targeting.
when
It's targeting his face.
when the umpire, the head ref, is actually looking at the video.
Yeah,
they're displaying the same thing he's looking at.
Because
right
and to me, there's transparency.
And he's doing that jobber.
Yeah. So, and that was my thing.
And there's
like,
transparency.
Yeah.
Right.
So if I'm MLS and I'm seeing. One, you see a terrible scissor tackle, which it was at a bad angle. Mm-hmm. Two, there was intent because
he wasn't going towards the goal. He was going towards the.
Yeah.
He just got dispossessed. That's a Brian Mullen.
And he was trying to
leg breaker
and he was trying to take him out instead of getting the ball.
Yep.
And like you do that. I feel like if you do that in any other league, that's automatic red. We're not even going to a yellow.
Right.
But we have
we've been called for
politest referee on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
He's Canadian.
Well, and so
100%.
and this goes to my to my next point, and kind of with all of this going on and you saw the video of Torres and Fernandez kind of elbowing each other, pushing each other, shoving each other around. If I'm a ref and I want to instill order, I'm going straight to reds. Like at that point, you have to go straight to reds because you have to tell these teams
that late in the game.
And you understand that it's a rivalry game. You have to set a tone. I was talking to one of the Sounders front office people just after the game, going down to the elevator, and I had said, somebody like you got to set a tone. Like the referee lost control of the game about 20, 30 minutes before it ended, and if you look at the last 18 minutes, and this is the last 8 minutes of regulation and then the 11 minutes of stoppage time, the ball barely got advanced because you've got Portland guys stalling and delaying time. There's guys jaw jacking. Like it was, yes, the rivalry is alive, but the referees lost control of this game because they didn't want to do crap about it.
Yep.
And that's my issue
early on.
Yes.
I think Leardom got a card in the 66th minute. That was the first time somebody got a card.
Yeah.
Brian Fernandez didn't get his yellow until 82nd minute. Yeah, 82nd minute. Yeah. And then Chara got one at the death of the game, which all that did was take him out of his next match, which Portland would probably lose that one, but they won this one. All right.
Well, I was going to say real quick, 10 fouls were called. 3 of them resulted in a yellow in the last 19 minutes of game time.
He pretty much held on to that whistle, or held on to the yellows until late. Too late.
Yeah, way too late. And even if you gotta send, if you gotta send somebody off, I'm not hating it. I'm like, oh, so you finally get control of the game. But to have that, and then the post-match shoving, which I think everybody could have seen coming.
Do you think the Disco? I mean, we'll get back to that. Do you think Disco is going to get involved and reprimand people?
They need to.
I think he's going to get a fine for sure.
Oh yeah.
For the elbow.
Torres? Oh.
No.
For getting his head in the way of that guy's elbow?
Exactly. How dare you?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of how Disco goes. But just thinking about, from the referee's standpoint, they might have been thinking, oh, fuck, not another red card wedding. We can't do this. This can't be part of our show notes.
Even Harry Potter guy, whatever his name was, what's Harry Potter's name?
Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe. Is that Harry Potter, or was that the referee?
No, his name is Radcliffe. I don't know who the referee is.
Even if Radcliffe would have called fouls, honestly, if Drew Fisher, what he really needed to do, sorry about the long pause and looking for my words.
You're fine.
You thought I was choking on something.
Jim Rome.
No, Drew Fisher could have done any number of things.
Right.
Even if he goes to VAR, whether he calls it or not,
at least
that dude is pooping his pants.
Yeah.
Whether he calls that or not. But that also has an opportunity to de-escalate. That's 2 or 3 minutes where everyone's just kind of like,
well,
drinking water, whatever.
And my thing,
he could have done a lot. He could have done a lot of what you've talked about in the past, which is you go up to the guy, you blow the whistle, you stop the game. You point at the 3 corners.
Yeah. Or you threaten the shit out of him with a red. You don't show it to him, but you're like, hey, got a red in here, buddy.
My favorite thing in the world is when they have both cards, the red comes flying out and he throws it on accident. I've had you take that card out and it just goes.
You're like,
and everyone's like, oh crap.
Right.
And then you give him a yellow. But there's another referee in rec league. He'll basically take his yellow card and he throws it off the field. And like, nobody else is getting a yellow. This is the next one you're going to get from here on out.
I have a quick question for you. This is an aside.
Oh, sure.
Do you still play keeper for one of the ECS teams?
I've taken about a month off, but I'm ready to go back in the fall.
Which team do you play with?
The team is Columbia. I think we're. The teams are all like blue.
Yeah.
Columbia, Shale, and anyway. So yeah, I think I play on. Well, I'm not on any rosters, I guess, but I'll reach out and see if they need somebody. But it was Columbia in the GSSL Sundays.
Okay. There's a guy that I work with named Aaron Walk who plays for I think the blue team, one of the higher level. It's been about 6 months since he's played as well, but I think he's gonna get going again.
I pretty much took the summer off because I was having some
shout out to you, Aaron.
Some inner ear like dizziness and weirdness. So I'm like, that's fine.
Were you? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, well, it happens. I don't know what that is.
A tender moment.
Oh,
with Steve and Tim.
No tender. That shit is overcooked. It ain't tender. That's what happens when
that
you're
love
fat.
is stringy as fuck.
Yeah. So are we? So
I mean,
they blow the whistle. Match is over. Or we think it's over, and then the shoving match begins. Okay, my favorite part in that entire shoving match, that entire thing, is as things like you can just tell like everything is still simmering. And somebody was gonna push somebody. It was just a matter of who and when. And then you had Torres getting into it. My favorite part, Steph Fry, kind of like how if you ever watch a baseball game, how the bullpen, how the guys in the bullpen just kind of gently just jog out there. But after the game, we realized Steph Fry is making a beeline for Steve Clark because
they want to trade shirts.
Yeah, well, no, almost. So, and if you were at the game, you kind of sort of know what I'm talking about here. I think it was during stoppage time. It was maybe 92nd, 93rd minute. Steve Clark is getting the ball, and Torres is just kind of walking by. I don't know if words are exchanged, but Clark mocks Torres for like on a header, because Torres had missed a header. I don't know if it was a cross or a corner, but basically Torres did not like it. After the game, Steph Fry sees that, and he's probably thinking to himself, okay, I'm gonna see him after the game. I'll tell him to remain humble, that he did a good job, and then the best part, which I'm so upset that I didn't get to see.
I'm humble.
Well, on the way to the locker room, Torres is sitting back waiting for Clark.
Oh my
He's
God.
waiting for Fernandez, and
Like this.
yeah.
He looks like the silhouette of that cowboy
Yeah.
that you just see the black silhouette of the cowboy leaning back.
Jose Moreno had a great shot
Oh, yeah.
of
I
the
commented on that.
ambulance, and it's just it reminds me of a WWF match where it's just like, it's a hardcore match. He's waiting backstage.
Where did this folding chair come from?
Yeah, and two, it was
Why
like
do they
it was
keep
that
these under here?
it was that old school NBA NHL where you're just like, okay, I'll see you after the game. Like, it was, these two teams absolutely hate each other. Portland came in and did what they had to do to beat Seattle. And yeah, no, the frustration and the agony that the Sounders, just the entire team, coaching staff, players, felt after that game, it was like, yeah, like, screw El Trafico.
Yeah.
Like, call me when El Trafico does that.
Yeah. Yep. That's not
And
a real
I know,
rivalry. I mean,
and I know some people don't like the pushing and the shoving.
Mm-hmm.
I totally understand that, and I totally respect it. But rivalries in sports, this is
part
what
of it.
happens.
Yep, absolutely. So the result was not what we wanted. Portland did edge it out. Well, not quite edge it out. They dominated the second half to maintain a 2-1 lead for the largest part of it. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And our next matchup is against Houston Dynamo away at 5 p.m. Pacific time on Saturday. What are your quick takes on what we should be looking out for that match?
For Saturday against Houston,
Uh-huh.
letdown game. Like I'm not saying that it will happen, but watch out for that.
Watch out for the trap.
Just for the letdown game, because you expended so much energy into Portland, and you come out with a weak result, or you come out with a loss, and now you got to go on the road. You got to go face a Houston team that you, by and large, you had the advantage over early on, but now you got to go on the road and do it. If Houston gets a goal, and the thing is, you haven't been great on the road.
We haven't been scoring. We have these
Yeah.
miracles that not through the run of play, just kind of crazy flick throws, penalties.
Yeah.
We don't.
Well, Tim seemed to think earlier that after this match, our Sounders are going to come out swinging.
Well, I didn't get done.
I hope so.
I wasn't done with Portland, but we'll go back to that. Houston have really strong wingers and a decent forward, and this jackass named Martinez that I want to kick in the pooper.
No. Oh no.
Yeah.
Like the toe of the wingtip kind of job,
Well, you know how those
or just like a side swipe on the butt
those
tops?
alligator boots that had the switchblade.
Oh yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, like on Breaking Bad.
That's a little
Roadhouse.
Or
Roadhouse.
what was that one?
Be nice,
like
Dolphin.
Dawn of the Dead, or
nice. I don't
From
know.
Dusk Till Dawn.
You're just naming off a random movies where guys wear alligator boots.
Yeah, basically.
Houston.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
This is true.
We can beat Houston, but Houston at Houston is going to be tough.
Yeah.
They've got the guys that will punish you for doing dumb shittery and
Okay.
making mistakes.
You
And
said
now,
you weren't done with Portland.
We'll go back to that.
No, we shouldn't. But
No, yeah, well, yes, we will. As far as Houston, the only way Houston can beat us, I mean, Brad Smith got in the head of Albert Alith, and I think that can happen again. But we have to create goals from other than the wings, because if we're going to push Brad up, there's a good chance we're going to get counted on that side, and we're going to get in trouble.
okay.
So we can beat Houston. It's not likely. I'm guessing 0-0-1-1.
0-0-1-1.
So that means a tie. Means
so
we get
it'll be
1
a draw.
point. Yeah.
All right.
It's a draw.
What are your parting shots on Portland? We got to move it along a
I'm
little
going to
bit.
quote Pedro Martinez
Uh-huh.
from the Boston Red Sox. He basically the Yankees just own the Boston Red Sox, and Pedro Martinez specifically, he said, "What can I say? Just tip my hat and call the Yankees my daddy. Portland's our daddy right now."
Yeah, yeah. Well, I had the tweet Sunday night, and I'm glad that nobody like it didn't carry
catch
as
fire.
much, because basically it was, hey, Brian Fernandez told Seattle to call him daddy.
Yeah, 4 goals in 2 days.
Yeah, well,
¿Quién es tu papá?
four,
Who's your daddy?
4 goals, and it wasn't like nobody else was kind of there or around to help and assist with those. Like, it was kind of like, if you take Brian Fernandez off that team, are they getting anywhere near the
No.
freaking net?
No, and I mean, what are we talking about? Open Cup and
I'm talking about Open Cup and
it's little mistakes that can be prevented. It's not playing like third, fourth, fifth string center backs.
right. No,
But
I
the first goal
totally
we talked
understand that.
tonight or Sunday. The first
Yeah.
goal came because our outside back got posterized,
Right.
And then it doubled down on the mistake by doing a ballerina pirouette or whatever and leaving that much to block the goal.
Right.
Whatever. Right now, you're only as good as your last game, and right now they are our daddies.
Yeah.
But what I want to see more of, and I've been part of this, when I have, if I know I have someone really strong waiting in the wings for my position, I have a blank check to kind of do whatever I want. What I want to see from Torres, I want to see more gamesmanship. I don't want to see the pushing and the poking. I want to see the. Do you mind if I demonstrate?
No,
Yes,
oh
I
dear
do. I'm
God,
terrified.
no.
I mean, honestly, you have big hands, but if you're Brian Fernandez going up on Torres, how about you just grab his hand
Little dark arts.
and you just squeeze
the
it,
shit
out of it.
and they make him go down to his knees, like, okay, uncle, deal,
Head uncle.
deal. Just
Well,
get in it, get it.
and that was one of the things that I believe it was Fry said after the game was we weren't as physical as we should have been against him. Like, not.
If Fisher ain't gonna call it,
And here's my thing. And I look at this, from a basketball sense. If you're letting a guy get off, like, we talked about this with Johnny Russell. If you're knock him on his ass. Like, let him know that the next opportunity to score won't be easy, even if it's still in the back of his head.
Right.
now Rui
That guy
Diaz,
knocked me on my ass. I'm going to watch out just a little bit extra.
Yeah.
Rui Diaz and Brian Fernandez are very similar. Fernandez has a lot more you in. He's got more
absolutely.
FU. Now, I don't see the same in Raul. Raul doesn't really get into people's faces, and
And he doesn't have to.
he doesn't like. He's not a. Yeah, I'm trying to keep this kid friendly, but
You're doing great.
it's just a lot of like.
It'll have an explicit tag. Don't worry.
So I see and I see Blanco for Portland doing the same thing. They just get under your skin because we let them.
Well,
If
was
you
it?
just-
Was it? Oh, sorry, to interrupt. That Blanco foul, or was that the Blanco foul that was kind of like behind?
Yeah,
he got one that
he got into it with Roldan.
Yeah, where he basically just knocked him 5 yards like he was a freaking cornerback.
I think those two have history, obviously.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But I think I think Roldan fouled Blanco, and then Blanco got up and blah blah blah. blah.
Right.
Surprising he didn't put his hands on his head. Usually he's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
man, come here, man. Come here." Get his arms on his neck and everything. But I'm just disappointed.
Yeah. I said it Sunday night, and I'll say it tonight. Counting down to the 23rd, because
I already got my bus ticket.
God forbid that game has a Cascadia Cup on the line. Both teams are in healthy playoff position. 'Cause I think Portland is going to go on a run.
Yeah.
And just in terms of we're playing at home, people got to go to us.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now they've got a lot of home games left.
yeah, and so that game,
Which they've lost a couple already at home.
yeah.
Yep. So I'm pretty sure we could do, now that we've got this thing set up, I'm pretty sure we could do some video from there. It wouldn't be like this whole setup.
Right,
It'd just
right,
be
right,
the
right.
camera and like
Just a bunch of
mics or
people holding
whatever.
their cell phones in the air.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah. Well, the camera. We'd have the camera, and then anyway, we could figure out the technology. But we are planning on going there on August 23rd.
I bought my
which is a
ticket.
Friday.
Either of you bought your tickets yet?
I thought you were buying all three, and I was going to pay you back.
Okay, I will do that. Since we started this show, somebody's been watching. We are now down to 6 tickets.
Okay.
Okay, so
All
if you
right.
could buy me one real quick since you're there, that would be super.
Okay.
Because I thought you were going to do that. Thank you. I said I couldn't pay you till Friday.
Pay you Tuesday for a hamburger
Today. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Meanwhile, this weekend, there's another huge game headed up.
Yes.
We are all going to. Are you going to be there? Are you going to be at
Tomorrow?
Cheney
I will be.
What's tomorrow?
Cheney?
tomorrow?
So yeah, Vegas. I believe Vegas comes here to play the.
We got Las
the
Vegas
Defiance.
Lights tomorrow. Shit. I was thinking about the rain on Sunday.
Oh yeah,
I totally forgot
the
about
homecoming
midweek
match. Well, I will not be at the homecoming match because
Okay.
I will be at the ballpark formerly known as Safeco, covering the Mariners and the Tigres.
That
team-
sh-
The team
How's Detroit this
formerly
year?
known as the Major League Baseball team.
Detroit's not good.
Yeah, they're all right.
So is the Battle of the Basement?
It's more like battle of the battle
gets the best?
in the basement against the team that's kind of standing on the steps. But yeah, no. So no, I would like to be out there tomorrow. Or on Wednesday they're gonna have media day, and so that's gonna be fun. So I'm excited for that.
Are you going to be doing any like periscoping or anything like that?
I
people
will
pay
not,
attention to? Okay.
and I'm the old school person that just like I record, I take my notes, like doing all the periscoping and stuff. Like, yeah, you can kind of you can capture the live video, but periscoping it and saving it and then trying to listen back to the audio,
Is a problem.
it can be muffled at times. So yeah,
I couldn't get this damn thing to work with the microphone. Yeah, anyway, crazy town. All right, so Rain FC are, of course, playing the Red Stars on Sunday, and we'll get to the Defiance match.
you were kind of right about the basement with the Tigers
Yeah.
and the so Detroit. 29 games out of first in the AL Central.
Jesus Christ.
Seattle, 24 games out of first in the AL West.
I can smell that from here.
I smell yerth.
I smell the earth move under my feet.
Ugh.
Yuck.
Ugh.
This is a
Gross.
huge match, of course, on Sunday,
Yes.
and I'm going to get to Defiance in a second. Sorry about that, bud. But this is a huge match because, of course, it's the return of 8 wonderful women who represented their countries at the World Cup. We are recording about the World Cup on Thursday, I think. Just depends on a couple of things and if we can arrange people to actually make it on their summer vacations to come talk to us about it. But Rain FC are playing Chicago Red Stars. Megan Rapinoe's going to be back. And
Ali Long,
yep,
Rumi
yep,
Gitsugi.
yep.
Like you name it, everybody's coming back. I'm excited because there's going to be 7,000 people.
Is it already sold out?
Oh yeah, they sold it out. I wish they could have put actual like bleachers on the field. Because I think
the grass.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
a bridge too far for the groundskeepers, I think.
Yeah, which
Well, that's probably going to ruin the grass.
yeah, which I totally get,
Just
but
displace the weight.
but they could have,
flatten it back.
but yeah, they could have put, aesthetically, they could have put another 1,000 in there.
Anything for the money.
Yeah.
Get the buddies and
Right on.
So no, it's coming, and the Chicago Red Stars have a solid team. Sam
Yeah.
Kerr, one of the more dynamic players in the league.
You've been doing your research.
I'm
You did a journalism.
me. I do a journalism.
He does his work, ladies and gentlemen. He is yep, absolutely. So you can expect full coverage of the Rain match next week after we next week on our regular show. Don't know if we'll do this live. We'll get some feedback from y'all and see if this is working out. The point is, of course, to get you the content a little bit earlier because, frankly, I have a life. and editing the show. Sometimes takes takes back seat to, spending time with my family and doing other work. But this way, you get the content now, and those that do prefer the podcast, they can get a little bit later. If you prefer time shifting, your news.
I would love to simply listen to this thing in the car.
Yep.
And not. I love Sonar Feed. But, until they make it podcast worthy, it's really hard to put the phone up on the magnet and drive and like.
Yep. Well, unless you
and put on my
subscribe to the
makeup
YouTube bread,
and
right?
eat
Yep.
popcorn and no, I got time for that.
So, Defiance playing Las Vegas Lights at home.
Are you sure?
Well, that's what you told me.
I did not
No,
tell you.
I said I believe they're playing Las Vegas.
Okay.
I told you there's a game tomorrow.
Dun, dun, dun. To the internet.
To the internet.
To the internet.
We'll edit this part out.
But wait a minute. I can just pull it up here, buddy.
It's a race. Your internet's slow.
We're playing Oklahoma City on Saturday.
Oklahoma City, Saturday.
And tomorrow, sorry, we are playing Las Vegas Lights.
I knew
tomorrow
it.
At 7 p.m.
I knew it. Hey, guess what, guys? I did journalism again.
Andrew Hammond.
Doing a journalism.
As they strip
Knowing
his creds.
facts, living the dream. As they what?
Strip his creds. You can't hang out on this show. You know they're going to get your credentials.
Oh, what's your title this week?
Title for
Your
job title?
yeah.
Soccer beat writer.
You didn't change it again?
No, I did not change it. Well, they've had me on soccer, and I'm planning on doing a Megan Rapinoe feature for her return to Cheney Stadium. Oh, and by the way, guys, guess what? Count the games that Megan Rapinoe has played as a member. Regular season games.
This year?
Yeah,
0.
0.
Because she was on international duty.
Yeah, she was a little busy. She
So
was a
hopefully-
little busy. So hopefully, yeah, even if she doesn't
We need
even
her.
start,
We need her.
she sees the field.
Drink.
We need all those ladies because they are. We drink whenever Grover barks. Don't. ASMR ice. Yeah, we need all 8 of those folks because the rain, they've had a mid-season, little bit of challenges here and there, lots of injuries and other concerns. So hopefully we will be able to get the rain back in fighting shape, and we'll be in really good place. Defiance, however, I'm not necessarily looking forward to the quality of this match against Las Vegas Lights. Last time we went there, they whomped us like 4-1.
The last time we went down there, I think
Sammy Ochoa
Nate
beat Nate in a foot race.
Nate and Hope, I think, went down to watch the game, and
Along with a bunch of supporters.
We worked it around the back so many times. They just picked our pocket and shoved it right down our throats. And I think they have Sammy Ochoa. I think they have a couple of ex-MLSers.
Which is not a very effective pickpocketing technique.
Sammy Ochoa?
No, if you pick your pocket and then shove it right down the
You see, I stole your wallet.
eat it. Take that. Eat your money. All right.
That's horrible.
Sorry. Anyway,
That was funny.
I feel it was good.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. All right. So they took our wallet.
Oh, they just kicked the crap out of us. It was just blah. Every ex-Sounder has scored on us. And then they do that. Didn't mean to. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to celebrate because there's really a chance that I'm going to get called up to your team again. No, screw that. Celebrate. Rub it in our faces.
Yeah.
Dunk on us. Oh, actually, don't dunk on me, but whatever.
Ain't nobody going to dunk on you.
I'm there for the atmosphere. I love it. I love singing in the party lodge, section 101, and we have a great time down there. So if you can swing by and say hello, we would love to see you and talk with you. And maybe,
I may actually make it out there.
yeah, well, if you could come see us, that would be really cool.
Can you drink on the
That'd
job?
be really cool.
No, I won't be covering the game, but I'll just probably just head out there.
Tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Not for. So you're doing.
You're not covering the game?
No.
Oh, you're
This
not
is
Strictly fan?
Sunday. You're going to baseball.
Sunday I'm going to baseball, but I plan on, because I haven't had a chance to see a Defiance match at home in a while, so I'm gonna head out there and
If for some reason my wife doesn't want to go, you want to sit with me?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I'll.
That's not an invitation because I think she's going to want to go.
Okay, yeah, I mean that's not
it's also her
that's no
first day
problem.
teaching.
Well, hey, you can come and sit with me. If I go, it'll bring my daughter, and she can't drink, so
Okay, gotcha.
she'll sit in my lap.
Is she a lap child? Do they let you do lap children?
If worst case scenarios, I'll buy another ticket,
Oh, sure.
or you buy a ticket, and then I will just give you my
Bracelet.
because you're over 21.
That works. That works really well.
Yes, it
Summit
does.
Club bracelet.
Oh.
That's what I am.
How much have you had to drink?
I've had literally half that glass.
I'm like
What's
on
wrong
like
with
the
you?
final
It was a
third.
dramatic slur.
I was paying attention to
Yeah.
the conversation.
At any rate, we're going to have a great time. Hopefully, Defiance finds something. And is there any highlight that you're expecting out of this? Are you expecting the same performance from, say, Jonathan Campbell as he showed at his last MLS appearance?
He scored a goal.
Yeah.
Didn't you
Dylan?
run into him somewhere?
Yes, I did. Before the game.
Oh, you were telling stories earlier. That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay. So before the game, on the elevator, I'm like, oh, you're Jonathan Campbell, right? He's like, yeah. So I was like, hey, with the News Tribune, had a
Flounders
chance.
B Team podcast.
Had a chance to watch against Dortmund. I was like, hey, nice goal against Dortmund. He was like, you have no idea how happy I was to score that goal.
That's amazing.
And for a guy that was traded, trying to get a new life with a new team, hasn't it hasn't worked out as much as he'd like it to have worked out. Him getting that goal, like you could tell that even when he talked about it, you could tell it was like that was a weight lifted off his shoulders. So maybe he plays a little better, now that he's got that goal.
Yeah, confidence builder
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. And for a team like the Defiance, which we talked about that 538 ranking where they're like dead last in the world, it's a stupid ranking, but at the same time, those guys need confidence. So if one guy can play with confidence, maybe it carries over.
I wanted to talk about this.
Yeah.
The possibility that the MLS-owned USL teams will get relegated down.
I don't know if we have time for this one.
I don't have.
We
enough
always have
alcohol.
time.
But
Maybe we can talk about it on the next show, and maybe that'll resolve itself by then. But
it's a fascinating situation because it's like I feel like the MLS teams are kind of like this is crap. But at the same time, I feel like the USL is kind of bitten off a little more than they can chew in terms of just how many teams they actually have, and it's hard to control it.
I see. Well, but there's two tiers of teams, and it makes sense to do it. But maybe this is just the impetus and the pressure that they're trying to push MLS to actually provide quality sides that we're not your development league. Thank you very much.
It's
we're
a combination. I mean, it's like the non-MLS affiliated teams are happy to come up here and whoop on us, but they're not happy when we put in our reserves and the guys with higher salaries and whatnot, and then return serve and whoop up on them.
Right on. Well, we'll see what happens this tomorrow night, this Wednesday, and we'll see what happens on Sunday with the rain, and of course Saturday with the Sounders in Houston. Busy, jam-packed week for all of the teams that we love and hold so dear. Any parting shots?
Appreciate everybody watching.
Yeah, thank you.
As of
Appreciate
right
you.
now, there are 4 bus tickets left. If you want to get on the B team bus, there's only 4 left.
Is it a separate bus from Tacoma, or is that just a different?
I think there's 2 or 3
lot of
ECSs.
tickets.
Well, I mean, I think they basically have so many bus tickets left. You can get there's like 100 if you just want to drive down.
Yeah.
But if you want to get on the bus, they save so many tickets. Probably the bus might be half full if it leaves Tacoma, and then they fill it up with the second half or the prepaid.
Right.
So I'm gonna get loaded up with Sparkle Donkey Jello shots.
Because you can bet your ass I am not driving to Portland
No, I
on
think
a Thursday night and staying the night. So
Friday.
I don't.
Friday.
Well, I
It's Friday.
know, but Thursday night and then stay the night.
And then stay
Portland,
Friday
yada, yada.
too?
I just don't want to party that hard. You know what I'm
Why
saying?
would you go down Thursday?
So you could hang out in Portland and do all your
Why
pre-funk.
would you want to
and-
hang out in Portland?
Portland's a great city. Their
No,
team
honestly,
is shit.
because of the kerfuffle. I mean, we were kind of talking about driving down and then staying the night Friday night and just kind of goofing off in the city. But I don't know if I want to spend the night in the city right now. I mean, I know myself.
There's a lot of weird shit happening in Oregon and Portland in particular.
with like
right
Antifas and all that business.
and like fascists.
That's what I meant.
Anyway,
the anti-AFI.
Well, yeah, no, it's Plus, if you go there and God forbid, I'm not trying to knock on wood. If something were to happen again, like Sunday, I'm sorry, I don't want to stay in that crappy city.
Yeah.
Every time I've gone, and it's been like, we've gone to a number of games. We've lost, we've won, we've drawn, right? And being like the fans outside, the supporters outside, no matter how contentious. I mean, shit, the 4-4, that was a great match, very contentious, very heated, very controversial, but also the fans outside were fine after the match.
Well, walking out of there when we lost in the playoffs, I just put my head down and walked. And But this time, after the bull crap that had just happened a couple days ago, they're going to need security to keep me away from them and them away from me.
Yeah.
Tim, I'll be the security.
Quick question for you.
Here's gonna be the best part about this. When we go, like, I feel like I could be that one person that like nobody wants to mess with. Not saying that,
Knock on wood.
Somebody's feeling
sitting in a
strong.
wooden chair.
So whatever. Had to make it dramatic. Shut up. So basically, I feel like after the game, I could help lead everybody out, and nobody would want to try and mess with me because it's like, who wants to mess with the big? Who wants to mess with the big dude? Nobody. But
you're a huge bitch.
Thank you.
Until you start talking, and then it's just like,
here's the thing. I won't talk. I won't talk
do you
if
have
somebody.
an aggressive voice?
I don't have an aggressive voice. I'm a passive aggressive type. So say if Seattle does win, I'm like, that's. How's the game, buddy? How you doing? Want a soda?
Soda pop.
But no, I would not be that guy. But yeah, no, you just got to just head down, just walk out, and if somebody provokes you, then we hold each other back.
So
all right,
we should go over the ECS rules one of these days for riding a bus before our next show or the next time we do a show
before August for sure.
Basically, you just don't be a dick.
Yeah.
You're gonna tie your scarf. Don't be a dick. There's gonna be some language both ways, but this is a game. I have to keep reminding myself that. But if some little kid comes talking smack, I'm gonna throw him.
So, question, because I'm relatively new to this rivalry.
Sure.
So I saw, I covered the ECS walk march to the match.
Oh, yeah.
And so, as far as the fan interaction between Portland and Seattle, where in Seattle, Portland's all the way up and pretty much just kind of secluded from everything.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Oh, it's same in.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at the baseball diamond,
we
are down the first baseline in the upper corner.
Okay.
I thought you were talking about in Portland.
Oh yeah, I was talking about in Portland.
In Portland, we're in the corner. We take buses and we walk in a certain entrance and we go through metal detectors, and we get escorted. We basically have, they separate us for sure. We have one vendor section that we can use, and we walk in like an hour or two early.
But we also get our own ATM.
Oh, that's classy.
Yeah. I don't use pesos.
but that's nuts though.
The bleachers are incredibly dangerous when you're trying to pogo.
Oh no! Are they wooden bleachers?
Well, they're wooden bleachers with the metal supports on the back.
When you've been drinking,
and you will bark your shins at least twice.
But we'll go over more details.
Yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else that we absolutely needed to cover. We'll just prepare for our next show. With that, you are listening to the Flounders B Team podcast. Flounders B Team is a production of Channel 253. You can become a member for $4 a month at channel253.com/membership. And that $4 a month helps to take care of some of the expenses for, buying cameras and microphones and new computers because my other one broke and all that good stuff. And it also, it really just keeps this podcast and all the Channel 253 podcasts relevant and helps us to do more content and provide you more shows. The network is growing faster than ever, and you can win prizes. You can come to special events if you're a member, and really you can just be proud of supporting. You can be proud of supporting local. I don't know what that means. You want some butts?
I want some butts.
He wants some butts. Give me the butts. You can be proud of supporting local.
Fly by 400 knots, and then he gets coffee.
Oh, is that the flyby? Yeah.
I want some butts. That's how I feel. That's how I just want some butts. I wanted to.
So is that
Channel
us? Is that the
25
mood walking into Portland?
I want some butts.
Yes, definitely.
Usually it's I want some ass, but I want some butts.
$4 a month. Become a member, support local media, and support the growing enterprise that is Channel 253. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Steve.
I'm Tim.
I'm Andrew.
You can reach Andrew at
Aham TNT on Twitter.
and that's 2 M's in the ham.
Yes.
Ham.
Ham.
I never thought about that. We now have a ham.
We have 2 hams.
Ham. You are a ham, and he is the ham. And then, how do we get a hold of you on the Twitters?
You just reach out and touch somebody.
Reach out.
Right turn, Clyde.
Reach out and touch someone. What movie?
My movie?
Never mind.
Any which way but loose?
Where do we get a hold of you on the internets?
Muffin Top Model on Twitter, Insta, Snap.
All of the soch. I'm Podfish at PODFISH. Of course, Tim usually mans the Flounders B Team Twitter, so subscribe there. Again, go to floundersbteam.com, and we're going to find a way. This has been a great experiment. There are things that we're definitely going to change, but we're really excited that you tuned in, and we'll get the regular podcast up, no problem. Just a couple of days, and we'll continually be improving our content on this platform, YouTube, Periscope, Facebook Live, and all that good stuff. And we're also working on simply providing a live video stream directly on our website. So stay tuned for all of that. I'd really like not to be dependent on all these advertising driven platforms,
right,
and all that. So
unless they want to pay us money,
we will shill.
Yeah. I don't think we're ever going to get to 10,000 views on the.
You got a lot of clicking
we've
to
had
do.
a lot of downloads.
I got to show a lot of skin.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. This camera does not make my boobs look good.
I would agree.
It doesn't make my face look good either.
So next time we might reposition. Anyway, provide us your feedback. Tell us what you think about the format, the setup, any of that. What worked for you? What distracted you? What made it difficult? Ketelsen coughs too much into the mic, and Tim Hamilton sniffs to make fun of Ketelsen, and then
I'm just using gyrations all over the place and not looking at the camera. I'm not looking at the camera. I'm just kind of using gyrations all over the place.
Hello. So, yeah,
Hi.
we might reposition. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. You're listening to the Flounders B Team podcast, and we are donezo. Thanks so
Deuces.
much.
And over 400 nuts. I want somebody's butt. I want it now. I've had it. Got it. Damn it. That's twice.
That's
I
twice.
want some butt.
I want some butts.
This is Channel 253.